Democrats and the White House are calling Mitt Romney's leadership into question for remaining silent when a supporter claimed the president should be tried for treason. Here's how it all played out at the event in Ohio yesterday.
The microphone right behind you.
We have a president right now that is operating outside the structure of our Constitution, and I do agree he should be tried for treason.
So Romney ignored the comment. Observers, of course, took note, comparing his reaction to John McCain in 2008 when a supporter went after the president. Take a listen.
I do not believe in, I can't trust Obama. I have read about him, and he's an Arab. He is not. No?
No, ma'am. He's a decent family man, citizen that I just happen to have disagreements with on fundamental issues, and that's what this campaign is all about. He's not. Thank you.
Joining me now, conservative radio show host Steve Deace, as well as Michael Shear, writer for the New York Times. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me. You know what, Steve, I'll start off with you. You're the conservative, but you absolutely do not like Mitt Romney. You have gone after him time and time again. So this time around, I guess it's a softball. What do you think of the way he handled it?
You know, listening to those two clips, you remind me of yesteryear when I actually found someone I disdained more than Mitt Romney, and his name was John McCain.
How do you disdain? Wait a minute.
The argument. Hey,
go ahead.
Oh. I mean, I love this argument. I have fundamental disagreements with a decent person. Meanwhile, at the other side of the argument, we're all called racist, homophobes, misogynists, traitors. But we get called every name in the book. But the guy that's supposed to be our champion says, well, this is a decent guy I just have some fundamental disagreements with. I think that's just, I mean, the clips you just played are a great example of why Republicans lose all the time.
Okay, then you got to help me.
Well, let me rephrase that.
Because I can't see in your head right now, and I don't know what you're talking about. So you're telling me that it was not a stand-up way to handle this when Senator McCain, this woman said that then candidate Obama was Arab. He is not. And calling her out on that left you with a bad taste in your mouth for John McCain?
It's not what it's not that part, it's what he said next. It's
almost like,
hey, I have to apologize for disagreeing with the American left. I'm sorry, and if I say really nice things about them, maybe like the other guy here, Michael from the New York Times, maybe they will say nice things about me if I'm really nice about it, and if I say please forgive me that I might disagree, then maybe everybody will be nice to me. And all that does is lead men like John McCain and then later this fall Mitt Romney to lose every single time.
You know, Steve, I have to wonder if it's the rabbit dog theory here. I mean, Michael, it seems that if for some people, maybe Steve, some other conservatives, maybe even some who are on the far left, if you're not constantly throwing bloody red meat out there, they're not happy. What would possibly be the problem with how Senator McCain handled that compared to Mitt Romney, who then later clarified or tried to come out and say the president should not be tried for treason?
Well, you know, look, the interesting thing that I find about this whole incident, I was at the rally with Senator McCain 4 years ago when that happened. I remember that was late in the campaign. The intensity of the vitriol, the mudslinging that happened in 2008, that happened in October of 2008 as everything was winding down, that intensity seems to be here already. Here we are 6 months from the campaign, and the kind of passion and intensity and anger and frustration. I mean, I talked to both of the leading political advisors for both of the campaigns yesterday, and they both expressed the kind of frustration in the kind of language that's already out there.
For fairness, let me play Mr. Romney's response when he was asked after this event where the woman said the president should be tried for treason.
Governor Romney, do you think President Obama should be tried for treason like the person who asked you? No? Is there a reason you didn't correct her or say that you wouldn't?
I answered the question. I don't
but you don't agree with her answer?
I don't correct all the questions that get asked of me. I obviously don't agree that he should be tried.
Well, Steve, okay, your take on his answer there.
Oh, gosh, I love this show. It's the only place in America where I might actually defend Mitt Romney. You know, just a week ago, he was being called racist from people in the audience, and I don't recall there was any similar outrage to that.
Are you referring to when he, hang on, because we got to tell people what you're talking about. If you're going to throw it out there, you got to clarify. He was in New York at the fire station. We don't even know the individual. If you've ever been in New York City, people yell all kinds of crazy things at you and about you. So I think that is not a fair thing. We're at a town hall. He's face to face. face with this woman and an opportunity, yes, to answer her question, but also when something is wrong, when it is not right, why not say it? He was faced with that same thing, Steve, with Sandra Fluck, when he had an opportunity to come out and admonish Rush Limbaugh. You don't have to throw the guy under the bus, as you all like to say, but you can say, as a man, as a husband, I have daughter-in-laws, what he is saying about Sandra Fluck is absolutely deplorable. This is the opportunity here, not just for Mitt Romney, for any politician who's faced with having their John McCain moment, whether you like John McCain or not. That was a big moment for him.
Here's what I think it would be a big moment, is if maybe we would ask the question, what is this current administration doing that has presented or has created people that have the sort of frustration and angst that the people in the two clips that you've just played are demonstrating? Are they all insane? Are they all crazy? Maybe it's because, regardless of whether we all approve of the way they're saying it, maybe it's because we are seeing a reconstruction of the American system where what used to be called right is now called wrong. What used to be called wrong is now called right, where profit is criticized, where achievement is downgraded, and maybe people are feeling like, hey, you know, the America that I grew up thinking we were, that's being betrayed. Maybe we ought to ask, what is going on in this country right now that leads people to come to these conclusions?
People don't know, but we consider each other friends. Michael, I hate to bring you in on our personal conversation here, but you host a radio show, Steve. If someone called in and said Tamron Hall is Arab or she should be tried for treason, you might agree with the second part, but what would you say? What would you answer? You say, no, she's not. So you can save that for someone else. The man should have stood up and said what was right and wrong.
I would say Tamron Hall is pleasantly misguided at times. Tamron, that's what I would say.
But she's not Arab. That you would say the truth of the matter. And not that there would be anything wrong, obviously, if I am. But let me go to you, Michael, and talk about the larger issue here, not to pinpoint so much on Mitt Romney, but to your point, the concern that this kind of language, this kind of rhetoric in the town hall, this early in the game, what are we going to see in October or leading up days before the election, especially with the polling showing the razor-thin margin between these two men?
Well, exactly. I mean, I think that is the question. You know, these kinds of campaigns build over time, right? The kinds of frustrations, and to Steve's point, you know, there is something there in a segment of the population, obviously, that feels the way it does about President Obama, and that's only going to get more intense as the campaign heats up. And look, on the Republican side, you know, they pointed out that that David Axelrod, one of the president's advisors, said in a conference call with reporters yesterday, referred to the people running the super PACs that are backing Mitt Romney as contract killers. Right. You know, that kind of language is also out there on the other side that that the Republicans would take issue with and say that's not appropriate language either. And so I think the question is, you know, is there any way to kind of rein that back for the two campaigns, or is it inevitable that it kind of, you know, keeps ratcheting up for the next 6 months?
I think it's, some people don't want to rein it in. I think that's what they want, and they want to see this kind of red meat, divisive language for whatever reason, and it's usually because they think it'll make them the winner in the election. Thank you, gentlemen. I greatly appreciate it. Michael, thank you. And Steve, my friend, if people call and ask things about me that aren't true, you better say they're not. Thank you.